Hi, my name is Solomon, and my partners are Ram and ADK. Together, we created a game called Cyber Escape. This is coursework done for CS 426 in the Department of Computer Science at the University of Illinois at Chicago. With that being said, let's get started. Cyber Escape is a 3D platformer that was developed using Unity 3D. The premise of the game, simply put, is about a computer programmer that gets sucked into his own computer program, and in order to escape, they must glitch and exploit their way to freedom. So, one of the first things that you'll immediately notice about our game is that it uses a voxel based art style where some of the assets, such as the trees, clouds, and NPCs, were provided by Unity's asset store, while some assets were made by ourselves, such as the player character. Speaking of the player character, it's fully animated using Mixamo, which is part of the game engine. It allowed us to simplify the animation process using state machines. Likewise, we also added some nice visual effects throughout some of our stages, such as the foliage for both the grass and flowers are made using billboards, as well as implementing some shaders, such as this low poly shader for the pond that reflects nearby models as well as the skybox. We created a resource for our game called buffer bombs that allow us to destroy destructible objects as well as enemies. The particle system for the explosion was implemented using Unity, with each individual component of that explosion being generated using a voxel-based editor. Likewise, we also created a simple AI construct that utilizes a nav mesh agent to patrol fixed points throughout the stage. We also added a mechanic within our game called Glitch State that allows a player to glitch through specific walls or terrain through the game, allowing the player to have a little bit of variety as they traverse through a stage. Overall, this stage served as a basic tutorial for the basic mechanics of our game. So with that being said, let's proceed to the next stage. So the premise of this stage is to destroy 3 pylons and make our way to the goal. So one of the first things that we see here are these glowing stones that utilize a point light as well as a glowing material to give the cavern a more cavernous look. Aside from the main mechanics within the game, we also implemented a system that allows the player character to utilize level-specific items, in this case, a lantern and a sword, that we could cycle between these items using the 1 through 0 keys on the keyboard. We could also attack with the sword too, using Mixamo as well. Oh, forgot one more resource. So coming to one of our other AI constructs, we have this zombie here that patrols a given area using a waypoint system, but also can transition between patrolling and attacking the enemy player using a finite state machine. So if I run away from the player, as soon as I leave its proximity, it'll go back to patrolling its fixed set of points. We can destroy this enemy using a buffer bomb and kind of run away from it. So now we could go through this castle here and destroy these pylons that need to be destroyed. So something interesting that we've done with the pylons themselves is that we implemented a toon shader to give it this cartoonish outline. Likewise, we also implemented an effect where we change the way the model looks. We transition from one mesh to another after it's destroyed. So now that the last pylon's destroyed, we could get out of this castle, and luckily for us, from what we learned from the second stage, is that anytime we see one of these like circuit board planes, we could glitch through them holding Q, and now we can make our way to the goal here, which is represented using a flag. One thing we'll, just to finish this off, is that we can notice that we created another AI construct of these birds that flock around the stage in the goal. Likewise, the animation for the goal flag here utilizes a shader that follows a sinusoidal function to add that little bit of an animation to it. So if we touch the flag, we now proceed to our end credits for the game. This concludes our game demo. Thank you so much for watching.